welcome back to Anime Casuals. I'm Lucky.
Here I go! This hand of mine is burning red!
And I'm Michael. Realize the only ones who should kill are those who are prepared to be killed.
Johnny.
Your darkness swallowed up my son? Who decided that?
Erupting! Burning!
Now all of you.
Die.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you guys ready? In 3, 2, let's be honest.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Anime Casuals. I am Lucky.
And I'm Michael.
I'm a Johnny.
And we make up Anime Casuals. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Casual Discussion. Today, we are talking casually about passive-aggressive characters. You know what? I just realized maybe I should have looked up the definition of passive-aggressive before we...
Passive-aggressive means that you do not handle channeling your negative emotions very well.
It's the literal definition.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That's better than this definition. This is a lot of words. Of or denoting a type of behavior or personality characterized by indirect resistance to the demands of others and in avoidance of direct confrontation, as in procrastinating, pouting, or misplacing important materials. I think pouting is probably the better one to use in that.
Yeah.
And we were thinking about using tsunderes in here. I was like, but you know.
Which is different because tsunderes are good at channeling their negative emotions, but they switch from
Exactly.
hot to cold, back and forth very easily, and then most of it's directed towards a love interest. So I mean,
Exactly.
like, yeah.
Yeah, so there's more of a purpose behind it. So whereas passive aggressive people are just complete dicks and they know it, or they don't. I have no idea. But either way, so I don't have too many in here. We'll see how this goes. I want to start off with oh, I forgot to look up his name. My bad. But anyway, this is the principal from My Hero Academia. This is the little ferret-looking dude. There's a moment in there where they're getting tested, and two students have to go against each teacher or whatever. And his quirk, little spoiler here, but his quirk is like he's insanely smart. And apparently, there's been like some rumors that he has been experimented on by humans. So he has a deep detest, but kind of a passive aggressive detest for humans. So whenever he takes people on, he completely just toys with them. So he's taking on like I think Electric Guy and Acid Girl. I don't remember their names, but anyway, he's taking them on in there and just completely. I almost kills them. Like he literally topples buildings to stop them, which like if he wasn't so smart, he would have completely killed them. And he's just sitting there cracking up with a cup of coffee and a fork and a big crane machine. And I'm just sitting there like, bro, this guy is rough, dude. And every time he talks to like people like All Might or something like that, he's just super like, yeah, what's up, da, 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 you know. But then all of a sudden he'll just say something like really snide. So I've always enjoyed his character in the My Hero Academia universe, and just having him on staff, and especially being like the lead principal, is so funny to me. And I really hope, I really like wish that we get him a little bit more in there. But the principal for My Hero Academia.
Okay, so I have a couple of first people who we could choose, but I am gonna go with probably my favorite character and probably introduced me to passive aggressiveness is Akane from Ranma 1/2. And she's pretty passive aggressive most of the time. I mean, she's also just regularly aggressive, and like probably just a touch tsundere, but like most of her aggression, and sometimes I think of passive aggressive as those quieter people who like punch people when they're upset but don't actually talk about it, which kind of is like textbook passive aggressiveness. And she does that all the time. Like she'll get mad and just physically beat up Ranma, but will never actually talk to him about the feelings that she has, or being angry with somebody. She'll just violently attack him and then be like, okay, I've dealt with it. And I have other people on the list who like probably are more passive aggressive, but I have always really liked her character because she has that like kind of sweet personality to her, but then she's prickly at times, where, you know, maybe we're riding the line between passive aggressive and tsundere. with this character. But I love Ranma. It's like the first anime manga I ever read from start to finish. So yeah, go Akane.
Nice. I'm glad to know that we all had a little bit of trouble with this list. So
Thanks, Lucky.
I was trying to think why I spelled this wrong earlier, and I didn't see it until right now. So my first one I decided to go with, more on the passive side, is Shikamaru. I spelled it as Skikamaru, so that's why I was really confused trying to look at my list again.
Skikamaru.
I was like, who the hell is Skikamaru? That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, Shikamaru. If there's a kind of bunch of different. It feels like there's a bit of wiggle room as far as more passive, more aggressive, but you're still kind of passive aggressive. And I feel like Shikamaru kind of fits the more passive side in that. I mean, people are asking him to do a lot of stuff and just kind of take care of things because, sorry, guy, you're the smartest person in the village. Literally, there's no choice. Sorry. And he's always like, what a drag. That sucks. I don't want to do that. But he does it. So, I mean, again, more on the passive side, but, he's kind of reliable in that sense. Be like, he's going to make a fuss about it, make excuses, make a whole thing about it and be like, but you're going to do it, right? And he's like, I'll get to it, all right? I have to go make sure Naruto doesn't burn down the village or something. So, yeah, Shikamaru. I feel like that was an all right one.
Yeah, that was actually one I was thinking of putting on here because I'm just remembering his fight with Tamari in the tuning exams where he just straight up is like, man, I'm gonna have to lose to a girl, and then dude, he's just laying it on, bro, and just pissing her off the entire time, which is fantastic, especially if you guys know the future of that. But either way, my next pick is Makoto Ito from School Days. If you guys ever get a chance to watch this anime, don't, because it is one of the most horrific things I've ever seen in my life. But the main character, Makoto Ito, has to be one of he kind of lingers that line between like passive aggressive. But one of the things that passive aggressive people I find tend to do a little bit is gaslight people, and when this dude gaslights, he just gaslights hard, dude. There's this girl that he straight up, a little bit of a spoiler for towards the end, but there's this girl that gets pregnant by him, and he's just like, dude, he just straight up is like, he's like, why'd you have to get pregnant? Like, like he didn't have anything to do with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I've never, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard somebody say. But yeah, this guy, and he's just completely, there's just so many times where he's just he'll do the passive thing where he'll just kind of like act like it's not his fault and just like be like, oh no, I was just one of these people, even though it was like totally his fault. So there's a lot of like passing of blame and stuff that I find that passive aggressive people tend to do a little bit more. But yeah, Makoto Ito is man. There's a lot of problems with his character, but that's just one of them.
My next character, I think, is 100% the Quiet Puncher, mostly because she never speaks in this anime, and that's Akira Una from High Score Girl. She is the most passive-aggressive person I've ever seen because she's so passive, she says nothing, and she makes little noises. She silently communicates with people, like in Komi Can't Communicate. But instead of speaking any words, she speaks no words, like Komi's like brother and dad. And anytime the other main character like does something she doesn't like, she just punches him with all the force that she can muster. And she does that the entire 2 seasons. And she's not like very soon. It's not like she becomes sweet at some point. She just like grows to appreciate this guy for what he's done for her, and they kind of have like the beginning romance start. But this whole thing with her is so freaking adorable. Every time she's like, "Hey, stop that! Boom! Stop making fun of me! Boom! Punches!" And the fact that she doesn't speak makes her passive aggressive because she doesn't know how to address those feelings, which you usually do by talking about it. Yeah. Also, that anime is incredible, and it also made me cry. It's really good.
I was sad, so I took a moment to reflect. So my next one is so like Shikamaru was more on the passive side. This is more on the aggressive side. Just because I was thinking about some of the things that this character says, and it made me think that's kind of passive aggressive. It's Bakugo, who you really wouldn't think is very passive aggressive at all, but I noticed some of his speech kind of is, in that, you know, people will try and get him to do things or get him to help with something, and he'll just yell something at them, non-discriminate, just shut up or whatever, I'll get to it, you know. So that's kind of passive aggressive of him. I mean, again, it's very borderline, because, you know, he's extremely loud, so it's almost like he doesn't have a problem voicing his emotions, but yet he does. So I thought Bakugo was an interesting choice for that, because yeah, he's very reluctant to do everything. So Bakugo.
Yes, that is a very good one.
No.
Oh my gosh. Oh, dude, Bakugo. I mean, I'm just. This is a little bit of a kind of like a spoiler, but there's like this time where he's in the newer season where like he's supposed to be like evacuating people, and they're like, "Hey, listen, dude, don't lose your stuff, don't lose your cool. We gotta evacuate people." And he just looks like he's about to lose his cool, and he rings on somebody's doorbell, like, "Hey, it's evacuation time. What are you guys doing?" It just takes out all of his anger and out of them. I love it so much. So. This one is, oh man, I was just gonna say, I feel like this one kind of borders on a Tsundere character, and also I haven't seen the second season yet, so I don't know. But this is Mommy from Rent a Girlfriend. She's basically Kazuya's first girlfriend that breaks up with him and starts this whole series. So first off, terrible, terrible on her for starting this whole series, because this series is complete dumpster fire. But she also does a lot of things where she just like passive aggressively will say things, or but I think also she tends to do this thing where she actually it kind of goes back to the gaslighting thing, where she kind of like gaslights and kind of makes it seem like, hey, you know what, we had a pretty good thing, huh? I mean, now that you've got this new girlfriend that I'm really jealous of, I mean, we kind of had a nice little thing, you know. And but she also will like say things that really like control Kazuya, that aren't exactly like, and she'll do it all with like a smile on her face, very passively. And so that's another side of passive aggressiveness that I think I see a little bit as I was gonna say like Machiavellianism kind of thing, where you kind of like control people, you treat them as tools, and
borderline sociopathic.
Yeah, exactly. And and Kazuya's an idiot, so he falls for that anyway. So yeah, I'd say Mommy's mommy issues. So she is my next pick here, and I hate you so much, Johnny.
Okay, I might have a few too many tsundere characters on here, but I guess my next passive aggressive character comes from is a throwback character to Yu Yu Hakusho. I think you could classify him as a passive aggressive character, but I don't know. I'll throw him out. You guys can decide. Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho. He's a very, very quiet individual, and usually his temper never rises. But when he gets upset, then the nine-tailed fox that he is, comes out and he gets pissed off at somebody. He's like, "Oh, now I'm going to destroy you and everything that you stand for." I'm trying to reflect on during the Dark Tournament, where there was a guy who was like, "Ha, ha, ha, I'm going to take you down, then I'm going to go kill your mom. And I actually already have this thing that'll kill your mom, so you better give in to me." And then he's like, "Haha," and I think he does all this stuff to Kurama, and Kurama's like, "Okay, oh, my mom's fine now. Okay, you're dead." And literally destroys him to I think he ends by slicing him up into little pieces with his crazy thorn whip. But there's another moment where they both get rewound in time, and then he just turns back into the fox. He goes, "Whoa, you don't even know what you did," and then completely destroys the other guy. And I'm every time his anger comes up, he turns from this very quiet, easygoing demon into Kick Ass the movie. So I don't know. What do you guys think about Kurama?
Yeah, I think he qualifies. I mean, I'm thinking more of he said he was in the English dub, at least. He would say these jokes that would be like borderline like, are you really okay with the situation, or are you just like, because you really can't tell because he's like so even keel, but he'll just straight up say something under his breath, kind of like Hiei. Like he'll just be chilling back with Hiei and just be like comment on the situation and make like a joke in the background. It's like, what? That came from you? What are you talking, dude? You're so even keel all the time, bro. What the heck is this?
Yeah.
I say, which one is Kurama? Oh yeah, I don't remember you
Red hair
showing up. Red hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Red hair, thorn whip, all that stuff.
That's what I thought.
Who
I was
wears
like,
the uniform?
Because the Kurama was like, okay, Fox, it's either that guy or the dude with like the whatever that is you call it. He's like, you're a Meshi.
Oh, that's actually funnily enough, that's close. That's Kuwabara. So I mean,
there
like,
you go, Kuwabara. See, I was like, it's either that guy or the other guy.
Johnny, that was a
guy,
good Kuwabara. That was a good
Okay.
Kuwabara. It's like a Joey, but like way deeper in your throat.
It's the like one of the 5 things I remember from that show.
It's a good
Spirit
show.
gun.
Oh, man.
No, Spirit gun and Urameshi. That's it. There's nothing else.
You got the
my
basics.
Next one is kind of a twofer, just because I don't exactly remember who it was from the two, but I didn't even realize it's another one from Naruto. It's either it's Neji and his dad, because those guys are probably the most passive aggressive people in the anime. I feel like, because they have to bottle everything
Yeah.
up and they can't let any of it out.
This is very true.
I mostly chose it for the one moment in the series where it's one of them, either Neji or his dad, but they're just watching Hinata fight. And just one of them flips out, just starts using his Byakugan. They're like, no, take him down right now. And they're like, oh, okay, geez. So that was like too much. You can't even stare too hard at these people. Like, they're going to flip out on you. That's too passive aggressive. You got to contain that. More passive, less aggressive. Stop it. So that's why I went with that. And even Neji, I mean, he's constantly looking down at people, being like, you're not as good as me. You haven't done what I've done, until he fights Naruto, and then he gets screwed. So I thought Neji was kind of an all right one, because he's bottled that up all the time, and he just lets it leak out here and there in snide remarks and elitism. I guess, even though he's never gonna be anything.
You got to let it out, or else the
Not
bottle
because
explodes.
Oh, wow, Johnny. Why? Wow, I can't believe you said that.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
really
what are you gonna
against that
do?
character.
I mean, when they sacrifice, because didn't they sacrifice? Okay, am I wrong? Did they sacrifice Dad, or am I thinking of someone else?
You might be thinking of someone else.
Okay, I thought someone had to take
No, his dad
someone's
sacrificed
dad's
his,
place.
yeah, his dad sacrificed his life to save his brother, was the idea, I think.
Okay, so yeah,
Which is Hinata's dad.
so that's just more good stuff for Neji.
Mhm.
More good
Yeah.
family times to talk about at Christmas. So
There you go.
yeah, I thought Neji was an all right pick for that. Anyway,
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Well, I'm just gonna go into lightning round because I think I got like a couple more here. So
Yeah, a couple more.
couple more.
Ooh,
So
totally me too.
Stop being so passive aggressive about it.
yeah,
Loki.
man, I'm just so aggressive. I'm too passive. Let me see who I've done. Okay, so I have Uda Kiyoda from Bleach. He is number 4. The only reason why I put him on there is just because of the same reason why you mentioned Neji, Johnny, is because he always is looking down at Ichigo and does it in such a snide way. Where like there's a couple times in there where like Ichigo's like, I bet you're number 1, and he's like, actually I'm number 4. just like
Shows what you know.
yeah, there's like 3 people ahead of me, and I still can beat you. And like he does like those like little snide things, and he does it the entire time. Like dude. Okay, I'm not gonna spoil exactly what happens to him, but even during the fight where he's like getting his butt kicked, he still looks at people and is like, "So this is what you are, okay?" Huh? Like he's still, yeah, I see you for what you are, and it's I'm like, dude, what is going on? This guy never loses his cool, which is cool. But he's very passive aggressive in that sense. I kind of put Eraserhead on here just because of how passive aggressive he was in the beginning. Not so much now, but just very like how he was when he was testing everybody. Obviously, we figure out why he was that way in the beginning. But just kind of seeing that play out. And then, okay, this is kind of like a funny one. Hinata, but the alternate version of her. There's an alternate version of Hinata where in the movie Road to Ninja, and then there's a couple of fillers where they show this same. I think it's when like 1010 gets her own arc, and of course it's during a filler arc. It's when they're all stuck in that stupid tree, and she goes to that same world that like Road to Ninja did, where like they get caught into Madara's genjutsu thing, and in this world like everybody has flipped personalities. Like Kiba's got a cat, he hates dogs. like everybody's got alternate personalities, and then Hinata is like super aggressive. But the way that she's passive aggressive is to Sakura, because she notices Sakura is like always on Naruto because they both came here together, and so she just straight up lays into her. Like when they go to the bath, like she's talking about how small her boobs are, and I was like, bro, like. Maybe she's just aggressive now. I'm thinking about it, but I will just.
It's not very passive.
Yeah. Maybe it's because in her regular version she's very passive, in this version she's very aggressive. To be fair, though, when Hinata is, let's just say in the future, there is a couple of moments of her being very passive aggressive. But it's funny enough. It's more like bipolar. So maybe it's not passive aggressive. Maybe it's just passive to aggressive. She doesn't have any different sides to her. It's just maybe it's just there's no middle ground there. So I just put her as my fun pick on there.
Weirdly, I'm not mentioning interspecies reviewers this time. So my lightning round, and we'll see. These are very hit or miss, and I just removed all the tsundere characters. Like I was going to talk about Irina from Food Wars, but I think she's more tsundere than passive aggressive. Like because she's actually got ups and downs to her. Yumiko Jabami from I forgot the name of the anime now, but the gambling anime. She is super passive aggressive because most of the time you see her, like she's pretty normal, right? Like whatever normal means, but like she's not. Her inner person does not seep out. She's like, oh, I'm a sweet innocent girl at a high school of gambling, and then when she gambles, she's like, and then she goes like insane, and like it's. I wouldn't even say like it's not like any other thing. I think passive aggressive may be like close to it because she also like is a little bit like very in control and kind of makes those snide remarks when she's on the sidelines for things, just going like, psh, these bees ain't shit, like she quietly thinking that to herself. I put on Bulma, but then I took Bulma back off. Bulma doesn't count. She's just aggressive. There's no passivity to her. I put Sora from Digimon. I think she's pretty passive aggressive for the most part, specifically towards Tai. And she's not very tsundere because she's not like wildly up and down with it and going like, oh, you can't do anything. Like, oh, I love you so much. She's just more like, okay, I'm a happy kid, and then when Ty does something stupid, she's like, bam, instead of talking to him. So,
threw up in my hat.
Yeah, you threw up in my hat years ago.
That's what it always comes back to.
Stop throwing up in hats, Ty. I put Nagisa for the same reason from Assassination Classroom. Nagisa is a very passive person, but like when the switch gets turned on, Nagisa's like, oh, I'm an expert assassin now, and I'll kill you. I put on, you guys haven't seen it, but Kuroko's Basketball. There's a character named Tetsuya who is like the like pale blue haired guy who's super quiet, but when he gets mad, he is still pretty quiet, but he just like all the ferocity starts like his aura expands, and you see like how actually angry he is. And very few times during the series does he actually speak up and like speak his mind. And he just like lays into people going like, I can't believe you. Like these were my expectations for you, and you just didn't meet them at all. And then my last one, and maybe is my fun pick. I also put Weiss on the list, but is she more tsundere? I don't know. I don't know. She's pretty aggressive. Yeah, she's more tsundere. Okay. I put Mob from Mob Psycho 100 because that boy is literally passive to aggressive. He is the most passive person that I've ever seen. Like, he barely speaks, especially in the first season. And then when he's mad, like, he goes 100% mad and just, like, wrecks shop. But then, like, he'll go back to being passive and, like, his emotions will rise again. But I don't know what that maybe that's more, like, closer to bipolar, but, like, I don't know. Yeah, so that's mine.
That's mine.
Oh, you're done. Cool.
Lightning round.
I was also going to put Vegeta on the list, but that dude's also
Actually, that's one I thought of when you were talking about Bulma.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe he just says, Kakarot, and then he goes and trains somewhere off.
Maybe
in a
Chi-Chi
ball.
too, but I don't know. Like, that was a...
No, I think she's pretty violent with Goku.
Okay.
Dude, I like how most of our list is because it was so hard to figure out this list because I was like, most people are either passive or aggressive in anime. Like you get the tsunderes, but they're a completely different class. So I was just thinking about another one though. Do you guys remember Tsukishima from Haikyuu? He's the big tall dude with the white hair. I was thinking about him for a second because you remember how he's like very like. First off, I think he's like 6'5" or 6'6" in high school. Like what the heck is that?
Yeah.
Maybe even taller. I don't even remember because I remember he hovers over the net and stuff, but like this dude is like
a wall, right?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, this guy is super passive aggressive most of the time to everybody. You know, and if it weren't for his teammates like opening him up a little bit, it probably like wouldn't have happened at all with him. But yeah, I just remember seeing him being like very like on the sidelines most of the time and just being like, I'm a big tall guy, you know, just on the side. But yeah, it was really difficult to make this list. Luckily, the next list should be a little bit easier. Just to give you guys a preview, it will be Halloween themed, so get ready for that next week. But as always, guys, don't forget you can check out All Things Casual at the link tree in the info box or the description box if you guys are watching this on YouTube. Also, if you'd like to email us, you can email us at animecasuals with an S, real REAL at gmail.com. But as always, guys, don't forget to keep
it
casual.